What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are back again for another review. This is Queens, Season 1, Episode 2. The episode is titled Heart of Queens. Alright, you guys, so before we get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and are not yet subscribed to the channel, I need you guys to do me a big favor and hit that subscribe button, the like button, the share button. The notifications are on, and share the, I think I said share. With that out the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about Queens, shall we? All right, you guys, I have to say, hands down, I am enjoying this show. It is great, right? So, this episode actually picks up where we left off last week. Now, I don't know if I mentioned it in last week's review, but if I didn't, we're going to mention it now, right? So you guys remember, after Nasty Bitches and Lil Muffin performed, that's when they found out that they are, talking about going on tour with each other, right? So we see them looking at the billboard. You can hear someone in the background who's breathing heavily, right? So then we see Eric. Eric comes out. Eric's face is just beat up. So then on top of that, we see somebody, we can still hear that heavy breathing, sounding like Michael Myers. You still hear that heavy breathing. Then someone comes from behind the car, has a gun, and shoots, right? So then we go back to the year 2001. So in the year 2001, this is when we see the Nasty Bitches. They're on the stage, they're performing, right? Everyone is into it with the exception of Naomi. Naomi is the only one who's not into it. So that's when Naomi said, you know what? The Nasty Bitches, it's a wrap. And she walks off the stage, right? So then we go back to the present. We see Brianna, right? So Brianna is with her husband and they're getting ready for an appointment. You guys know he has cancer. So they're getting ready for this appointment. And she said she wasn't able to get her mother to come watch the kids. So she has Valeria over watching the kids. And Valeria is doing yoga with the kids. I was like, oh, wow. So we see Valeria. She is talking on the phone to Eric, right? So Valeria, she desperately needs this tour to be a success, right? Because her agent is telling her that they want to book her to do Celebrity Wipeout. And Valeria doesn't really want to get her hair wet. So she's like, yeah, she needs this tour, right? So then we see Jill and Tina. So Jill and Tina, they're in bed with each other, right? And they hear a noise, and then Jill's like, you smell breakfast? Mind you, Jill got this big ass shotgun. I'm like, wait a minute. Where'd Jill come from with this shotgun? So, so Jill and Tina go downstairs, and it's her husband, Darren, right? So Darren is like, you know what? I've been doing some thinking. I've been doing some soul searching. And I came to the conclusion that Tina loves you, right? I love you. You love me. Let's be polyamorous. I'm like, Darren, poly would work if Jill wasn't a lesbian. Jill cares about you, but she doesn't love you the way that she loves Tina. She doesn't want to have sex with, like, dude, you realize now that if you put two and two together, you realize she may have been ovulating more times than you think. She just didn't want to have sex with you because she's not interested in you. I was just like, no, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Absolutely not. So let's move on. Now, I do want to say one thing before I move on. So in the newspaper, it does have that Jill has come out. It's front page headline news that she's come out the closet. So let's move on. All right, you guys. Next up, let's talk about Lil Muffin, aka Lauren. So Lauren is in rehab, right? But while she's in rehab, she's not really taking it seriously. She just basically, for Lauren, she's just there so that way they can say that she passed, the course, so that way she can get back to her normal life. But okay. So then we see Naomi, right? So Naomi is having lunch with JoJo. And, JoJo was kind of surprised that, she's able to have lunch with her mother, right? Because of everything that's going on. Well, their lunch was actually interrupted when Cameron joined them, right? He joined them, right? So, they're ordering their food. JoJo and Cam ordered the exact same thing. A burger with no condiments, extra pickles, something else. It was something on it was an interesting burger. No condiments on the burger. Well, I can't even talk because when I order a hamburger, I get a dry burger. I get it plain with just cheese and ketchup. Sometimes it's just ketchup, so I can't really talk. I don't eat lettuce, tomatoes, onions, pickles, mustard, none of that shit. It ain't for me, right? So now in last week's episode, I tweeted and I even said in my review that I thought Eric was her father. Well, I guess I was wrong. After listening to her and Cameron, after hearing her and Cam place their order, I'm like, oh no, no, no. This is his daughter, right? So Cam came to Naomi because he wants to sign, her to his label, and she's kind of apprehensive about it, right? So then we see Jill. So Jill is at church, right? And they're doing communion. So Jill goes up to the priest, right? So he can basically pray over her, and he says that because she's not pure and she has sin, that they can't pray for her. That'd be my thing when it comes to these churches, when it comes to the churches, and when it comes to churches and their views on homosexuality. If no sin is greater than the other, then why do y'all put so much emphasis on homosexuality? Like, I just never understand it. You'll pray for a rapist. You'll pray for a child molester. You'll pray for a murderer. You'll pray for a thief. You'll pray for it. You'll pray for an adulterer. You'll pray for every other sin but homosexuality. Homosexuality is the end all be. It's just it. Like, y'all won't do shit after you, but you can do so many other. You'll pray for so much other stuff, but the homosexuality, you won't pray for it. It's ridiculous to me, and that's my point of view. You guys may agree or disagree, but that's just my personal point of view. So we're gonna pause here. We're gonna move forward. All right, guys. So we moved to 1997. So in 1997, we see 3 girls performing. So we see Naomi, explicit lyrics, Jill the Thrill, or Jill the Freak? Jill the Thrill, and then we see Professor Sex, Brianna. So they've known each other. So from what I gather from that, they've known each other longer. They've been performing, I believe, since high school with each other, right? So we see Eric, he's in the crowd, he's watching them. Then we see a young Valeria come up to him, right? Now, before that, he was actually talking to this white guy, whose name I didn't get his name. So we find out that Valeria was not a part of the original Nasty Bitches group, right? She kind of basically talked her way into the group, right? Now, they listened to her now in the 90s. That wasn't a mixtape. In the 90s, that was a demo track. In the 90s, those were demo tapes, right? So they were listening to her demo tape. They were like, I'm sorry to say, but you ain't that good. So then, I think it was not Brianna, it was Naomi. So Naomi handed her some lyrics, and it's their single, the song that they've been singing, right? So she actually, I'm like, wait a minute. So did she come up with this? Naomi wrote the lyrics, but she freestyled. Like she actually spit the lyrics right out. So that's that. So then we move back to the present day, right? So we see Eric is out trying to get the ladies books, right, for this tour. So the guy that he's talking to, he's like, if this tour don't sell out, you on the hook for $500,000. And Eric was like, I got you, bruh. He was like, really? Because I heard that house, that mansion that you living in, it's rented. I'm like, not a rented mansion, Eric. But Lil Muffin, is she not? Is her numbers on the chart not doing good? Like, questions that need an answer, right? So then we see Jill. So Jill is at home with Tina, right? And Jill's talking about she needs to go to LA because she just can't be where she is currently. I forget what state they in. It's one of them M's. It's in Montana. I believe they're in Montana. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they are in Montana. So she's gonna go out to LA. So meanwhile, Lauren comes in. Lauren has left the rehab, and Tina was like, well, if you want to LA, take her with you. Don't leave her here. So I got a lot to go. Let's move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. So we see Naomi and Cam, right? So Naomi and Cam are talking to his bosses about what he thought was signing Naomi to his label. But his bosses have a different story. So they have this artist that they want to push, right? And what they want is for Naomi to basically write for this artist. And he was like, wait a minute. That ain't even what we talked about. I wanted to sign her to my label. So Naomi gets up and walks out. She's like, you know what? I'm good. So then we see Jeff. So Jeff, the doctor tells Jeff and Brianna that once he has his chemo, after his chemo, he'll be cancer free, right? So Brianna is telling Jeff that she's not sure if she can get over the fact that he cheated on her. He's like, I ain't cheat on you. She's like, yes, you did. He's like, what did I cheat on you with? White girl, look like a student, look like she does this and this and that. So I don't know if Jeff is playing a game or if this is real, because oh my God, I just thought about I literally just thought about it. Oh my God, I just thought about it. I'm gonna tell you guys why I'm laughing in just a minute, right? So, we see Valeria and Brianna talking, right? So Valeria was like, that sounds like that's a storyline that happened on General Hospital. It surely is a storyline that happened on General Hospital. When she said General Hospital, I'm like, who had a brain tumor on General Hospital? She is 100% correct. So I'm gonna give you guys a brief synopsis of what happened on General Hospital, right? And sometimes the things that happen on General Hospital, they try to mimic real life medical situations. So anything that they mention on the show sometimes does happen. But this storyline, I don't necessarily know if it happened. So there was this character by the name of Franco. He was actually portrayed by James Franco. And then James Franco, he did a short stint on General Hospital. So he left and they recast his character. So James Franco's character, his name is Franco. He did a lot of terrible things, right? He's an artist, right? So he was a street artist. He did graffiti. He was a graffiti artist, but he was also kind of like an abstract artist as well. He did different types of art. So he was infatuated with this character by the name of Jason Morgan, right? So he was doing things to get at Jason. So he kidnapped Jason's girlfriend. Her name is Sam, and he kidnapped a cop's girlfriend by the name of Dante, his girlfriend Lulu. So what he did was he strapped them both to bombs. One bomb was actually active, one bomb was a prop, right? So they had to basically figure out which one they had to save them, but they didn't have a lot of time to do it, right? So then he also had, so the guy Jason, his nephew Michael went to prison. Franco had Michael raped in prison. And also Jason's girlfriend Sam, she and Jason went on a vacation and he knocked Jason out and he raped Sam, and they thought that Sam was pregnant with his child, but she wasn't. She was pregnant with Jason's son. So once they recast Franco, right, they flipped the story, and they were trying, they had been looking, the cops had been looking for him to arrest him, right? So when they finally got him, they arrested him, right? So there's this lawyer, her name is Diane Miller, and Franco actually had a brain tumor, right? But what they were saying was that the brain tumor was the reason that Franco did the things that he did. So he wasn't in control of his faculties, so to speak, because of the brain tumor. And funny thing is, the brain tumor came back actually this year. The brain tumor came back, and they were afraid that he was going to revert back to old Franco. So that's the storyline in a nutshell. So yes, it did happen on General Hospital, and I was like, wait a minute. I thought about it. I'm like, oh my God, they are doing that. So yeah, when he started talking, he doesn't know anything. So I'm like, oh, so are they really going to say that the brain tumor is what caused him to cheat? Okay, all right. So all the ladies start showing up over to Brianna's house, right? So Eric comes over. He's saying that he got them a show out in San Diego at the Forum. They're a little reluctant about this because that's where the last performance was that they had, where they broke up. So they're reluctant at this point. So we're going to move forward. I didn't mean to go into that long tangent about General Hospital, but I thought it was funny. All right, you guys. So next up, Naomi. So Naomi and Eric are talking, right? And, she was talking about the fact that she doesn't want to do music anymore. And he's trying to figure out why she doesn't want to do music anymore. And then she's asking him, like, what are you up to? Like, what's your angle? What are you trying to prove, basically? And he's telling her how it was good seeing her the other night, right? She says, Eric, it was one night, and, I'm not cool with what you did. Eric is still basically playing the same game. If you think about it, he's still playing the exact same game. He hooked up with her, right? He's messing with Valeria, and which is basically what broke up the group in the first fucking place, right? So Eric tells Valeria what he did and how, basically he has to sell out this venue. If not, he's on the hook for $500,000, right? He don't have $500,000. Well, she's like, you know what? I haven't. So maybe I can scrape it up. But she says, we're not even going to have to worry about that. So then we go back to 1998 when Eric got them signed to a label. So Eric presents them with bags, and, Naomi was like, whoever wants my bag, they can have it. So then they all start to open up the bags. And there's, I think he said like $250,000 in cash there, right? So then we see them filming an episode of Cribs. They didn't have no chemistry with each other because at that point I believe that they hated each other. And also they didn't live at that crib. So, I think it was Jill who was like, damn, I drive a Toyota Corolla and look at her. Talking about Valeria. We see Valeria get in the backseat of a car with Eric. So after they've all, left the set, this young girl comes up to Jill, right? She's asking Jill to go out on a date with her. And Jill was so far in the closet at that time. Jill was like, don't you ever come up to me with no shit like that. I'll beat your ass. Like, I was like, Jill, chill. Like I did that? And Jill, chill. So Naomi had to tell her, like, whoa, calm down, Jill. She think I'm gay and I ain't gay. Okay. She saw something that you didn't see. So we move back to the present. So we see Jill. She's on the phone with somebody. And Lauren is trying to escape out the window and bloop, falls to the ground. I'm like, is she dead now? Because last week when she OD'd, I looked at her, I'm like, I think she did, but she wasn't. So Jill and Lauren are able to connect on one thing, right? They're both scared, right? Jill is afraid to live her life as who she is, which is a lesbian, and Lauren is just afraid to live her life because she doesn't know who Lauren is outside of Little Muffin. Um, we'll, we'll pause here and wrap up. All right, you guys. So wrapping up the episode, we see Eric. So Eric gives Brianna. He's talking to Brianna, right? And he's giving Brianna basically a big pep talk about who she is, because she's still struggling with what to do with Jeff. Does she divorce him? Now, I mean, it would look kind of fucked up though if you divorced him now that the man has got cancer. So I would, but it would still look fucked up if you divorce him after. So Brianna's basically in a sticky situation, right? But we find out a little bit more about Brianna. Brianna has a master's degree. I'm like, ooh, an educated black woman that raps. Come on. Come on. So we go back to 2001. So at that time, Eric was with Valeria, right? So I think if I'm not, from what it looks like he was actually going back and forth between Valeria and between Naomi, right? Because him and Naomi were talking, and Naomi was asking him, was he involved with Valeria? He didn't answer the question initially because he's talking about the fact that he wants to be with, Naomi, but Naomi doesn't want to go public with the relationship. Now, the reason that Naomi didn't want to go public made a lot of sense, right? She's trying to be a solo artist, and she doesn't want people to think that she slept her way to the top. So I got that. I did understand that. So when he eventually told her yes, he was with Valeria, she went and she was with Cam. So then we see Naomi, right? Naomi calls JoJo, and JoJo asks her how did it go with Cam's record label, right? She says it didn't really go too well. She says, so me and the nasty bitches, we gonna go on tour. She was like, really? She's like, so all that you've done for the last 20 years was for naught? She's like, what are you talking about? She's like, you've missed birthdays, recitals. You've missed so much shit in my life because you were chasing this dream of being a solo artist, and now that it's within your grasp, you give up on it. So she says, but they don't want to sign up. I can't convince them to sign a 40-year-old. She said, yes, you can. So we see as JoJo is on her piano and she starts playing Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball, right? So then, was that at the time she was? Yes, she was. She was playing Wrecking Ball. So then Naomi went over to the boss's house and she buzzed until the gate opened, and so sorry you guys, my phone is dying. And it didn't cut off. That is so cool because normally it'll stop the video. But so Naomi went over to the boss's house singing Wrecking Ball, and Brandy did a good job. So then we wrap the episode up. We see the nasty bitches as they're doing their rehearsal, right? So Brianna, Valeria, and Jill, I'm still trying to get these characters' names all together, right? It's so interesting. I know they're rap personas, but I get it's their actual names. Well, actually, is it Jill the Thrill, P Nasty, no, Professor Sex, Butter Pecan. Why did they call her Butter Pecan? I'm kind of confused about that in explicit lyrics. So they're into it, right? Naomi is not Naomi is not into it, and the reason Naomi is not into it is because when she performed. So the boss does want to sign her. What?
One of your shoes sitting
Yeah, I'm letting it air dry.
Oh.
Sorry, y'all, my cousin. So, what was I saying? Oh, so Naomi. So Cam's boss does want to sign her now, right? But at this point, if she signs with them, she can no longer perform with the nasty bitches. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get away from that persona of explicit lyrics. So going back to 2001 real quick, one of the other reasons that they broke up is because Naomi felt that they were getting played by both, more so specifically by Eric, because she was like, this money ain't making, the math really ain't mathing with this, and I'm not understanding it, right? So Valeria says, yes, we're ripping you guys off. I'm like, well, damn. Damn. So what it boiled down to is none of them read their contracts when they signed. I'm like, oh, that's how they get, that's how those people, that's how they get these artists. They know that that these people are young and impressionable and will do anything for fame, and they don't read their contracts. So this is a lesson to anybody out there. Read your contract. If you don't have a lawyer, go find someone that go find anybody just to read over that shit, just know what you're signing away. But that's the review, you guys. Like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell button so you guys are notified when I drop anything else. Share the video, and until the next one, you guys stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Bye.